All right. Hey, welcome to the Stoner Sports Report with Scott and Skunky. I am Scott, and to my right is Skunky. How's it going, Skunky?
Going good, man. I was trying to
Going
find
good.
something. I was trying to find what we were talking about there.
Well, we can let, hippie can. I saw enough of it, or at least, well, we won't though, just because of what happened last night. We have to open with. Well, if you recall, I was not here yesterday, but what I did say on Friday was I thought both teams would not sweep. They did not. What was interesting was not only did they not sweep, but I still can't get over. Boston lost by 38, which is the third highest blowout, in NBA Finals history. And then
Right.
Edmonton scores 8 goals, blows out Florida. However, then Dallas, obviously that was their game to shine because they got smoked last night. I don't know by what, 15, 18, something like that.
Something.
So hey, congratulations to the Celtics. They now have the most championships of anybody in the NBA. So I'm sure now LeBron is going to try to get a team together in LA so they
I
they
heard.
can win.
I heard the Lakers are in talks with JJ Redick to become their head coach. And
Really?
him and LeBron had the podcast together, so I assume that that's all about that.
Yeah, and if my memory serves me correctly, at some time during LeBron's career, he had that sharpshooter. Because I'm thinking so. Yeah, because JJ Redick, 3-point shooter. I'm thinking either did he play now did he play for Cleveland with him?
Um, I don't ever remember him being in Cleveland, but I don't really follow basketball well much. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but I do know they know each other very well. So that would not be a surprise because it's not a dish on LeBron. It's a simple fact that with LeBron, he has got to have a coach that will not only listen to him but let him call the shots sometimes. And there's really no other
Yeah.
way to say it. Okay, remember how players have done this. Peyton Manning had a list. Aaron Rodgers had a list. Well, trust me when I say LeBron's got a list. And
Well,
when it's go
right.
ahead.
Here's the thing, LeBron, if that's what the Lakers have been doing, that's terrible because they've not been good. So maybe they better try something different.
Well, honestly, I just on their side a little bit. I think they expected more stability from Anthony Davis because when Anthony Davis is healthy, they are pretty good, Skunky. But Anthony Davis is not healthy. I mean, my gosh, 70% of the time.
Right.
Seriously,
And
I know it's over 50%.
they're
Um, they got to believe it or not, a team that shouldn't have no problem doing this. The Lakers got to spend money. I mean, it's funny because remember how we were talking about, the duo. You got Luca and Kyrie. But way back you got Clay and Curry, but now the NBA has changed now where you got to have like at least a trio. Now Boston even does better than that. What they do is they have their main two, Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown. Then they got a bunch of other decent guys that play well. So you could either do that or go with the trio, and that's the super three,
right.
and that's pretty popular. So don't be shocked if Kevin Durant, if they talk to Kevin Durant. Oh, hey, you remember what I mentioned about the uniforms, and I do have some more information for you. Recent issues with MLB uniforms have sparked notable complaints from players and fans alike. Here in 2024, MLB uniforms designed by Nike and produced by Fanatics have faced criticism for a variety of reasons. Several players have voiced dissatisfaction with the new uniform materials and design. For instance, Pittsburgh Pirates players pointed out that the new mesh material makes the uniform somewhat see-through, especially the home whites, and the smaller lettering and numbers complicate autographs. And I think there's more. Well, okay, until there is. Go ahead.
I said, hey,
Hey, what's up,
Matthew.
Matthew? Yeah, hey, what's up? What's going on, buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's more to that. They're also talking about how they're easy to tear. Yeah, okay, and these complaints have reached the MLB Players Association, prompting its executive director, Tony Clark, to express hope for changes. Clark noted that players were particularly concerned about the visibility and durability of the uniforms, and that these concerns are being taken seriously by MLB and its partners. This satisfaction has not overshadowed the positive reception of some aspects of MLB's uniform experimentation, particularly the City Connect series, which continues. Um, and then, oh yeah, okay, and it expects of MLB's uniform experimentation, particularly the City Connect series, which continues to receive mixed but often positive reviews for its bold designs and unique city-themed elements. However, the overall sentiment regarding the standard uniforms remains largely negative due to the aforementioned issue. I did also hear that I think Nike said something about they'll be better in 2025, and they're going to spend this year voicing all their concerns, so they don't make the same mistake. So
Yeah.
obviously, a story like that obviously brings out all kinds of speculation when the fact that the material seems to be easily, terrible now suggests that it sounds like another thing where maybe you're saving a little money. Maybe the material's not, yeah, and so, and I
That's how
did
they
see, go ahead.
that's how they pay the players so much. They save money on uniforms.
And hot dogs are now $17.50.
Dude, our team here, our AAA team, has dime a dog night every couple months or so.
That's cool. Yeah, hey, that's where it's at, man. Go if you want to see, if you want to see baseball and not spend a fortune, go to minor league games. They even have buck night, pizza night, popcorn night. Um, it's
They're
Go
still
ahead.
trying to get to the major league, so they're playing hard. Yes.
Absolutely no question. It's a different environment. I really enjoy minor league baseball. I even enjoy the goofball names. You got like the hen hogs and the
Mud,
let me think. Huh?
the Mud Hens, Toledo
Yeah,
Mud.
the mud hens, the man, there's a lot of goofball names. It's like, and I like all that. I like
Yep,
the atmosphere of minor league baseball.
sure.
I like how it's much more affordable. I like your point where every guy in there is like, I got to shine. So there's nobody taking. Yeah, you're not very wise to take. You're not very wise to take days off in minor league baseball.
Right.
We all know. We all know that professionals do that, and if we pay attention, we know. We even know when they're doing that. So yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. Back to what we since they are champions, we probably should be talking about Boston Celtics. Am I surprised? No, but they give all. How do I even say this? It's like that's a total team effort.
Yeah.
And lately in the NBA, you usually got one guy blowing it up, and that's not the case with Boston. They were very hungry. They got there, lost to the Warriors, lost to they couldn't believe they lost to the Heat the year before. Year
Well,
before last year when the Nuggets won. So they were very hungry, and give
and
credit where credit's due.
what I thought was their best player didn't play as the best player. Tatum.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So
That's another.
Jaden what's his name?
Oh, Jason Tatum. Oh, you mean Jalen Brown, the other guy?
The guy that won the MVP. Brown.
Yeah, what's that? Yeah, Jalen Brown,
Yeah.
Drew Holiday, Gary Green, even Porzingis.
He played
Um,
last night.
their bench guys played good, but they also played really good. Once again, defense wins championships. Boston held Dallas can score, and they held Dallas under 100 points at least 3 of those games, and that's impressive. They only had one game where they didn't show up. Dallas blew them out, but that didn't last long. So, congratulations to the Celtics. They now have the most
Right.
championships. And the
I thought they started
Olympics,
in
yeah,
July.
Olympics start. Yeah, but is he talking about the Winter Olympics? But why would that be in April? Yeah,
Yeah.
what Olympics start in April?
I think they started in hey, I did
Isn't it
I
July?
did see a story that said the United States opening ceremony outfits are included jeans. So,
Are you serious?
yeah,
That's funny.
right. Right. That's
Yeah,
pretty big. That's a pretty big ordeal.
that is a big ordeal. It's exciting.
And we're sending our people in jeans.
We're sending our people in jeans.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Um,
Oh, hey, I got something else here for you. Search sports sites. The Summer Olympics in Paris will begin on July 26th, 2024, and run through August 11th, 2024. The opening ceremony will take place on July 26th and will feature a unique floating procession along the Seine River. Some events, including handball, rugby, and soccer, will start as early as July 24th and 25th on NBC Olympics.
yeah. Awesome.
So, yeah, the
That's a,
Olympics are in April. They're
that's a,
coming
lot
up
of,
here
that's
soon.
a lot of sports for sports fans.
That is a lot of sports for sports fans. And now that the NBA is over, and there's a very good chance that the NHL is going to be over tonight, so then we'll have to start focusing on other things. Also, the UFC. I watched some of those fights over the weekend,
Yeah, you see the guy break
and
it?
yeah, yeah. And I also saw the guy get hit in the junk, or I'm sorry, Skunky, the nuts, as he said, and then came back.
Boy.
And then came, but man, they kept showing it because at first the crowd was booing because they didn't think so, and then they showed it on the screen, and you hear the whole crowd go, "Oh, that was right." I mean, that was bullseye. Hey, since I mentioned football, by the way, training camps. The NFL has announced the training camp reporting dates and locations for all 32 teams. These dates are crucial as they mark the beginning of preparations for the upcoming season. Yay!
Yep.
Yay! 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 I would like to give a shout out to my head coach Antonio Pierce, who is getting tired of the questions about. So, are you concerned about your quarterback?
You should be.
Because we got Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew, and he goes, you know what? Actually, I'm not. You should be concerned about your quarterback. Yeah, baby. Wait till you see the Raiders' defensive line this year. Whew. Telling you. Max Crosby, get used to the name. Max Crosby's taking over as the scariest defensive player. Got some player movements to mention?
Dude, there's some good ones. Miles Garrett, Micah
Yeah,
Parsons.
you do.
Yeah.
I love Miles Garrett, and I'll talk about him in a second. Several notable free agent signings have occurred recently. Dolphins have been active, signing players like Calais Campbell and extending Jalen Waddle's contract. Additionally, many first-round draft picks have signed their rookie contracts, including Bo Nix with the Denver Broncos and Chop Robinson with the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bo Nix isn't even. It looks like he's not even he's not even in the first when they're practicing in the first string. So I'm thinking the Broncos are thinking he may not start this year.
Yeah.
But no, hey, Miles Garrett. Yeah, I was. What I love about Miles Garrett is he's not an edge rusher. He's a defensive, basically lineman, whatever you want to call the interior guy. And Christopher Wilkins, the one the Raiders got in the Dolphins, is a lot like him. That's why I'm excited. He's going to line up next to Max Crosby. Miles Garrett's a stud. Got some more developments. The Baltimore Ravens have unveiled a new alternate. Oh, cool. Let me start over. The Baltimore Ravens have unveiled a new alternate helmet design called Purple Rising. This is part of their efforts to refresh the team's look for the new season. I know our team will never. My team will never do that. The Raiders have already said over. No matter how much they move or whatever, logo's never going to change. And Cleveland's never going to have. Remember when they had Browns? You guys remember when Cleveland had Browns on their helmet?
No.
You don't remember that?
No.
Hey, Hippie looked at. I think they did. Seriously, at one time.
I don't think they ever had maybe numbers at one point back in the AFL. I don't ever remember seeing any letters.
Were they part of the AFL? Because if they were, I think that's when it did say Brown.
Yes,
Oh,
that's
we got some contract disputes, which seem to happen every year. Oh, and I knew this was going to happen. Yeah, this guy's due for the 49ers. There are ongoing contract negotiations disputes, such as the one involving Brandon Ayuk and the San Francisco 49ers, which has drawn attention as both parties seek a resolution. Do you know who he is?
I
I believe
do.
his number. Yeah, he's good, really good.
Here's the thing. He is a number one receiver playing number two behind.
Look at my head. Yes, behind.
Listen, you know what the
guys.
money the receivers are getting now. I would not be surprised if he doesn't split.
You can't even, dude. You can't be more right. Yeah, him and Debo Samuels, studs. But I'm telling you, this guy that we're just talking about right now is as good as anybody in the league, and he's one of those receivers that they even like to call a hybrid. And I'll give you an example. Do you know who Derek Metcalf is? That big wide receiver for the Seahawks. Well, that's what this guy brings. He's not one of those skinny guys. This dude will literally run right over you. So he's not only a threat to go deep, but heck, on those screens, yeah, or that little 2-yard pass, he's good. The Browns have never had the word Browns written on their helmets. Okay. Since their inception in 46, the Browns have primarily featured a plain helmet design. Let's see if there was anything like numbers. Initially, they wore white leather helmets before transitioning to their now iconic orange helmets with a white stripe and brown accent in the 50s. Over the years, there have been a few variations, such as player numbers on the helmets from 57 to 60, and a brief experiment with a CB logo in 65, which never made it. And as I was reading that, Skunky, I know where I got that. The Bengals had Bengals written on their helmet at one time.
At one time.
At one time. I remember Kenny Anderson. Okay, here it is from 57 to 60, and a brief experiment, like we said, in 65, which never made it to the field. Despite various changes in face mask color and uniform styles, the Browns have maintained the same.
Right.
That's pretty much the same thing with the Raiders.
I believe that was all back in the AFL.
Yeah, in the AFL, we have to, whether you like them or not, we have to thank Al Davis. Okay, help me out. There were several. The dude from the Steelers,
Rooney.
Oh, come on. Yep, thank you. The one, Spanos, is the dude from the Chargers. And that was cool, though. We could talk real quick about that. That was smart. Oh, we're going to probably go to a commercial break in a second, so I might get cut off. But I want to mention the AFL, how they were smart, where they were watching all these games 6-3 between the Bears and Vikings. You watch the AFL, the Mad Bomber, we're in the third quarter, and it's 50-47. People were watching the heck out of it. You had that Lynn Dawson hucking it from the Chiefs. You had the Mad Bomber from the Raiders. You had it was, and the Chargers were scoring 50 points a game. What was his name?
This production is brought to you by DHBN, WTHC Radio, and Stoner Records.
What the fuck is that noise? You guys hear that shit? Oh. Yes, I do. Listen up, children. Now the story I first heard from a long time ago was never to go out in the woods all alone. People go missing and never make it home. No decent burial, not even one bone. Portals hidden in trees, no you can't see him. He's calling shots far beyond Big Bag and Trim. A buddy too lamp short, I heard him yelling at him. Well, if you wanna burn your slash, won't you do it down with watches taking chances, crossing streams and breaking branches, popping seeds and growing trees, and stopping avalanches. He won't take no for an answer. There's no going back if he won't let you. Growing trees is all he knows, and peeping at you through the upstairs window. Floodwaters, rock slides, better know where you're at. 3610 no one redwood to jack. You gotta stay on the road when you're beating the black. Cause people flying off the edge just like cruises a cat. If you show up, take a second, don't forget where you're at. Now don't get caught in your tits, that's a C-spot strap. Now all aboard, come along to the back of the woods. From the song and sing along, it'll be all good. Watching on heaven. Said too much about the squatch and his beers. I'm trying to make an honest living and be just like him. I'd like a cabin in the woods with the license that says, you fuck with me, you fuck with squatch, and that's the way it is. The squatches taking chances, crossing streams and breaking branches, popping seeds and growing trees, and stopping avalanches. He's starting trendy dances, using CBDs for curing cancers. No one grows like he grows. You might be smoking on his nose. Watches on heaven. In 707. Watches on
This production is brought to you by DHBN, WTHC Radio, and Stoner Records.
Apparent that it was going to work was they realized how all the games that were just 9-6, 13-6, and how defense was totally. And it's not that people don't like defense, but they do like to see the ball thrown down the field and stuff.
Excitement.
So so the AFL, so they just said, what we're going to do is we're going to have a league where we're going to score points. And I remember they had See, and I can't exactly remember, but they did have some different rules that made it a little bit better for the offense. It was more, they threw the ball deep, and you had guy for the Chargers. They literally threw it like, and then all the teams, though. I mean, they were throwing 50 times a game, and it was exciting. And the scores were 43-39, and there were games as high. Daryl LaMonica, the Raiders, the Mad Bomber, they were constantly throwing it deep and stuff. So it was exciting, and it turned into the NFL that we have today.
Right.
We haven't really discussed much about now. There's even a thing that could be said. You literally, not only do you keep yourself alive in a series, I mean, barely, but you've scored 4 goals in 3 games. And honestly, the Edmonton scored 3 goals in 1 game. 1 game they were shut out. So they only scored 4 goals. Oh, it's funny. Guess what? Florida scored 12 goals. So has Edmonton because of the 8 goals. So honestly, there is this saying about you almost don't want to score that many goals because now you're goaled out. Now you're going to go to Florida, and not only you're not going to get 8 goals, but I'm telling you, I would not be surprised if they get 1, or maybe 2 at the most.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Depends on how
Florida goes. It just goes back to I don't know exact facts in the NHL, but in the NBA, only 10 teams since the beginning of the NBA have swept another team in the finals. It just doesn't happen that often. And it's also very hard to sweep a team because there is this thing that seems that once their backs are absolutely no more, your back can't be more against the wall than down 3 games. And there just seems to be this thing where they find a way to win. Even LeBron said that. He goes, and you're even better than the other team. But then the very next game, which Boston proved, all right.
When you play, you win. Yeah.
Yeah. So we didn't show up for game 4. So it was fun for the fans. I did watch that goal barrage, and the crowd was going ballistic in Edmonton. Boy, would they love to see a game 6. So Florida.
Sure.
Probably even right now as we speak, as they're in the locker room, their head coach is saying, look, if Edmonton finds a way to win tonight, I hate to say it, we could actually be in trouble because then they go home. And then if they win game 6, game 7, when you talk about game 7s, that is where anything can happen. So what do I think? I think Florida will win. I think one of the things they're going to do more than anything, I don't think it's going to be offensive. I think Florida is literally going to go out there and hit and just play the way they do. Not take any chances at all.
Right. What Florida has done so well up until the last game was make them have trouble getting the puck into their zone.
Mm-hmm. And not only that, you know what else Florida did that they don't do? They don't turn the puck over in their own zone.
Right.
And they were doing that. Edmonton got some goals that were seriously, it wasn't a finesse thing. It was, fumble, 1 throw from the goal, it's in.
Yeah.
I don't expect them. You're right. I don't expect them to do that either. They've only done that 1 game out of the 4. So logic tells me that Florida will tighten it up. Now, what makes sports fun and interesting is weird things can happen. Say, for example, Florida could be playing that tight defense, and then Edmonton shoots this puck that no way should go in. It hits off 3 guys' knees and a head and a stick, goes in. Next thing you know, it's 2-0 Edmonton. And we've seen games where one team is outplaying the other, but still they're behind. You're like, how? Because 2 weird goals happen. So once again, I'm a logic guy. I'm a realist when it comes to that kind of stuff, and the odds are not good. Are not good for Edmonton because they would. What I'm getting at is they would need a little help. They would need. Oh, I got one. Okay, they did look better on the power play. And now that maybe I should. Here's a better chance for Edmonton to win instead of like goofy shots. When they get a power play score, and Edmonton will get a power play. The one thing about Florida, and I know Hippie would agree because of the Rangers got power plays. They just didn't score on them because Florida is willing. Florida loves their penalty kill, and it is good. So they're willing to do that extra physicality and maybe get a penalty and be okay with that because it even on a momentum thing, when Florida stops the penalty, when they do kill the penalty, the crowd goes wild. Because so that's a more likely scenario. Now that I'm thinking about it. Edmonton looked a little better on the power play. They're going to get some opportunities tonight if they could capitalize on a couple. But see, now I'm talking. They'd have to capitalize. I mean, they're going to have to get 3 goals, and that seems so hard to do against Florida. They're going to have to get 3.
Right.
I would think in hockey, generally 4 is the magic number. But as good as Florida's defense is, I think 3 might be. But can Edmonton get 3 goals 5-on-5? No. But could Edmonton get 3 goals with a 5-on-5 and maybe two power play goals? Yeah.
They got
So
I saw the over and under total was 5.5 goals.
that's what they're giving it. So then that 3-2 thing I said would be close. That's even kind of high, I'm thinking, but because I really think this is going to be Penn City. I don't think Florida is going to. Did you also notice? Yeah, Florida gave up like 2 or 3 3-on-1s. They don't do that. And Edmonton scored on them, but they don't do that. So
from turnovers,
they turned it over.
Yes.
They really did.
Right.
That's funny. Panther hockey. So
yeah.
that game's coming up. Is that 6 o'clock? So it's going to be like 6:15, or is that 6:30? I mean, what time? Which would be 8:30 your time, of course.
I guess 8:30. Or
Okay.
8:20, whatever it starts.
Something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, hey, what do you got? Some sports you want to talk about, Skunky? Local stuff or whatever you'd like to pass along with your.
Probably ought to tell them that. Damn it! Now I can't remember. Bryson DeChambeau won the U.S. Open.
Hey, congratulations!
Yeah, Rory McIlroy bogeyed 3 of the last 4 holes and actually lost the lead. So he's taken off until the Scottish Open now.
Yeah, and that triple bogey thing, not a triple bogey, but 3 bogeys. That's that's hard to swallow.
That was a tough course.
Golf is such a
yeah.
That's why it's not surprising that a lot of these and rightfully so. And I I'm a proponent for mental health. Golf is hard because it's not even a team. So you so much want to say, I lost because hey, I just came up. Justin Timberlake just got a DWI arrest. Not sports related, but there you go. I just saw it on the screen. Okay, help me out. What was I talking about? Squirrel. I think I just saw a squirrel run by.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I do. Oh, yeah, golf. It's a mental game. It's really tough. I've even talked to golfers that it's the only sport where you're literally in a tournament, but you have to make the cut. That's and you got really good golfers that just don't have what is it, 2 rounds or whatever how much do they get for the cut? Is it 2 rounds?
Yeah.
Or is it 3? 2?
Okay. They play Thursday and Friday, and then that's the cut.
Okay. So they play. You got 2 opportunities to make the cut. I remember when Tiger Woods was going through a lot. He on the 5th cut that he missed in a row. Man, that wasn't good. I saw his interview. He's out crying. I mean, I'm just saying. It's tough. And with golf, though, I mean, and it's serious on this. It is a sport like boxing, like the UFC, where it's you. You might have a team, quote unquote, but it's still you. So if there are mistakes made in the ring, or if you lose and stuff, the only one you can blame, you can try to blame your trainer and stuff, but deep down inside, I thought Rocky of all movies did a decent job of trying to explain that. You remember where they're talking about how, you say, hey, that's just because you didn't train hard enough. You could say all this stuff. Deep down inside, you're going, man, that's because Muhammad Ali, that's why he used to talk the way he did. He would say, he goes, look, man, I'm not only convincing you, I'm convincing myself. And I went, ooh, I like that.
Sure.
Jordan talks about that, saying, That's
Who?
why Jordan. That's why he said he liked to hear the shit talking more than returning the favor because it actually pumped him up. So instead of like talking stuff, he would just make little face gestures. Remember when he do them to Barkley?
Jordan who?
Michael Jordan.
Oh, oh, yeah. Okay.
The guy who, if he ever did, in fact, he'd have Scottie Pippen do his talk. And I remember when Carl Malone. I
You
remember when
mentioned,
Carl. Go ahead.
you mentioned Charles Barkley. I saw where he's retiring from TV.
Yeah. Hey, how about that? Um, I think what's awesome, whether you liked him as a player, whether you like his mouth or anything, not only has he been good for the NBA, but the guys that said that they didn't like him have actually kind of turned around now and said, you know what, Barkley's Barkley. Who was it that was just saying? Oh, it was Shaq. He was saying, look, doesn't wear a mask. I mean, he's still the same guy he was all the way back when he played for the Phoenix Suns.
Right.
And he goes, I have to actually respect that. He didn't change for TV. They're right. He goes, and he even told TV, he even told TNT, he said, look, I'll do this, but I'm still going to be Charles Barkley, and that might be problematic. I thought,
him and Shaq got pretty heated on that TNT. They did.
There are stories, and now that he's retiring, I wouldn't even be surprised if he comes out with a book or something.
Right.
Apparently, stuff that we never saw that was off screen was, and there was some pizza boxes being thrown. Apparently, they really.
Joe Rogan should sign him up for a UFC fight. That'd be great.
And now it's funny though is they totally respect each other because they say the same thing about each other. They go, big mouth, back it up though. Don't it's they didn't. Both of them didn't change for TV, and they both got a big heart. Shaq's a little bit more friendly than Barkley, but Barkley calls him. But Stephen A. Smith does the same thing. So it's like I can respect somebody who's consistent in the way that they speak, and not only that, if you watched it through the years, Barkley did tone it down, and he even said not because he was told to, because he goes, because I've watched some shows, and man, I'm a little much, and it's like, well, you've always been a little much, it's like, but he was good. He was good for the NBA, so I don't know who they will have replace him.
Who knows? Whoever's retiring soon. Maybe LeBron. Maybe it'll be LeBron. He'd be playing.
And sometime, I don't know. He's the kind of guy that wouldn't shock me if he's going to come out in Expendables 9 or something,
Yeah.
Did you see LeBron?
He tried to Space Jam thing.
Expendables 9. Yeah, didn't he do? Well, Jordan did Space Jam. That's right.
Right.
Didn't he? He did something, though. You're right. LeBron did something. He did some kind of
Jams too.
Expendables 9.
Yep.
Hard not too low. Oh yeah, mascot. Hang on. It's mascot time.
Yeah. What? NASCAR?
Hold on. Mascot.
Oh.
The official mascot of the Stoner Sports Report with Scott and Skunky is this guy right here, Tilo. And see the hawk? Okay, you got it. Hold on, Tilo. You got it. They got to see the hawk this way.
Right on.
Roll side view. There it is. Right.
Absolutely. Still looks like
I'm 16. I'm 16 years old.
How old?
16. So that would make him. Is that 112? Let's see, 70. 112.
Wow.
Yeah, he's older than dirt. So, but he's a good boy and he's a mascot. Come here. He needs help down now, though.
Yeah.
All right, Skunky, what else?
Yeah.
You're doing?
I see where Jake Paul is not going to wait to fight until I believe November 15th was when him and Tyson were rescheduled. He says he's not wasting a training session, so he's fighting a bare knuckle championship fighter named Mike Perry on that date. So there's going to be a fight.
Really?
Yeah. No.
Jake Paul will fight anybody. Yeah, he's fought about a couple UFC guys. Now he wants to fight a bare knuckle guy.
Yeah, I imagine he'll have gloves on.
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course. He'll probably even have what I call the pillows.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the problem I got with boxing too. It's funny. I've noticed that our hamburgers have shrunk. But I've also noticed that the boxing gloves have gotten bigger.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's powder puff boxing.
I'm not
16
watching
ounce or whatever.
a long time. But
you know, that's why it's funny. That's why I even got into the UFC because I grew up, seriously. I used to watch Wild World Sports on ABC. My favorites were Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, George Foreman, Sugar Ray Leonard, Ray Boom Boom Mancini, Wilfred Benitez, Hector Macho Camacho, Thomas the Hitman Hearns.
Yeah.
And no, but they were knocking. I mean, come on, George Foreman at one time, I believe, was 28-0 with 28 knockouts. They were knocking them out. and now boxing is 12 round decisions. There's really it's lost that luster that it once had, you know, and it just doesn't seem to. And it seems like the heavyweights are because I remember Muhammad Ali having to fight everybody, Ken Norton, George Foreman, all of them. It seems like the heavyweights now. There's not even the breed is totally different, and it's all the way from flyweight up. It just doesn't seem. The word I guess I'm looking for the boxers don't seem to have that knockout mentality. Yeah, the knockout mentality. It's more about looking good and stuff, and not taking chances. I guess, or maybe the names aren't big enough. Maybe they're not talking enough like Muhammad Ali did. Maybe that's it. Maybe there's not enough talk.
I couldn't even tell you who's the heavyweight champion right now.
I can't either. And boxing's admitted though that they do struggle, and they struggle with the UFC, and I can see why. I mean, I would rather watch a UFC match than a boxing match all day because you can punch, you can kick, you can. I'm not a huge fan of the grappling for too long. If they're on the ground doing nothing for 2 minutes, make them stand up.
Yeah,
and I've heard the crowd going, stand them up, stand them up. I'm like, heck yeah, because they're just laying there. They're even resting, I think. Just kind of like when boxers with the clinch, same kind of thing where they're resting. But boxing, there's just not enough. I don't know.
The old time dudes would, when they clinched and broke, they would hold their head down to keep them from breathing well. They did.
Yeah, no, yeah, they did. No, yeah, they did. Okay. Yeah, there was a lot of dirty boxing. Marvelous Marvin. Remember Marvelous Marvin Hagler?
Yeah.
He was notorious for that. He would also like clinch you, but then he would take his elbows and slam them into your ribs like 2 or 3 times.
A lot of them did.
Yeah. Leonard totally complained about that. There's a reason that Leonard, and I thought it was great. I know a lot of people said, oh, Leonard didn't even stand toe-to-toe with Hagler. Why would he? He would probably lose the fight. He ran around that guy, but he also hit him, and he hit him enough to win the fight, and everybody who saw the fight said he won the fight.
Yeah.
And Hagler said, but he wouldn't let me clinch him. Yeah, because you're going to take your elbows and slam him into his ribs. So he didn't let you do that. But you remember the fight? You remember the fight with him and Thomas the Hitman Hearns? Hearns went toe to toe and literally knocked Hagler down, but then Hagler got up.
Right.
And Hearns admitted after that fight, he said, I should have maybe been a little bit more patient because that's what Hagler wants you to do. He wants you to come right at him. But what he didn't want you to do was do that, move dancing around and stuff. So the guys that gave him a good fight was, people like him. Who else? Do you remember Wilfred Benitez?
Yeah.
He fought him, and he fought him pretty well. And I'm trying to think if Camacho did too. Hector Macho Camacho.
Yeah.
Oh, the good old days.
Right.
Well, you're on a roll coming up with stuff to talk about, Skunky. So what else?
Dude, I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but that Sunday NFL ticket is being sued for something.
Oh, let's see if we can get something on that. Hey, I have to mention because it keeps coming by, but apparently, Skunky, you smell good. It says Skunky smells good.
Well,
What do you
absolutely.
smell like? What do you have? What do you smell like?
I don't know. Skunk, I guess.
You smell like skunk. Sweet.
I reckon.
So okay, you're saying that Sunday. Oh wait a minute, did
That,
I see something on that Sunday NFL ticket getting sued?
yeah, I don't see that.
Um, hmm.
It said something about they aired a game on CBS and ABC and charged way more than they should have or less, and the subscribers got pissed and are
Okay,
suing.
so it's you're saying that the people that ordered the Sunday NFL package ended up paying more than they were told they would pay.
I believe so.
So then, what you would do is the first thing you would do is you go after the provider, and that tells me that the provider might have said, "Well, it's not us; it's
Right.
actually the NFL itself."
It is.
So then that's why. Ah,
Yeah. I believe they aired it on different stations than the Sunday ticket and charged them to watch that also. Is what
do you have
it
some?
said.
Do you have some information on that? Okay, the NFL Sunday Ticket includes several key developments, antitrust lawsuits. A significant antitrust lawsuit involving the NFL Sunday Ticket is currently underway. The class action lawsuit, which started trial proceedings in June of this year, claimed that the NFL's exclusive bundling of out-of-market games with DirecTV and now YouTube TV violates antitrust laws. This
Yeah.
lawsuit, which began in 2015, could potentially result in over $6 billion in damages if the NFL if bundled it with their YouTube subscription. This offer included a $170 discount on the Sunday ticket and a $15 monthly reduction for the first 3 months, unlimited streams. And Sunday Ticket has been offering promotional deals to attract new subscribers. For instance, during the NFL draft, YouTube TV offered a discount of up to $215 on the Sunday Ticket package for new users. A lawsuit which began in 2015 could potentially result in over $6 billion in damages if the NFL loses YouTube TV deals. YouTube TV, the new home for the NFL. Huh. Well, there you go. So basically,
Pretty serious. I said that sounded pretty serious. I don't know if it really is.
It does. That does sound pretty serious. But here's the thing: I didn't know anything about it, and it said it started in 2015.
Yeah,
and 9 years ago. So
I just read it today. So
yeah, I was like, so that could potentially be a problem. It's really sounding like we're going to get to the point where more games are probably going to be on Prime, and other games we're probably going to have to stream stuff, and they're going to make us pay more. I'm thinking. Something's telling me we're going to pay more just to even watch the NFL. I hope they don't get rid of the local, the games that are always on the local channels. We should have Fox and CBS.
Yeah, I thought it said they're going to be on YouTube TV and whatever else.
Not but at least this year nothing's changed when it comes to that. Except for that Thursday there will be Prime. Unfortunately, the Raiders are on like a weird Friday night game. Somewhere around the holidays, that's on Prime against the Chiefs, so I won't be able to see that.
Is that an overseas game? Do you know?
No, the Raiders only have one prime time or two, and they're not going anywhere. No, it's something about it's either around Christmas or for example, when is Christmas coming up this year? Is that a Friday? Or when is Christmas?
Well, I don't even know when the 4th of July is coming up.
Yeah, the 4th of July is coming up here in a little over, will be a week from this coming Friday?
Soon.
Or next Friday?
Soon. Yep. Yeah, dude, I don't know. That's about all I found. I saw where the Rangers, hold on a second. For the hippie. I saw where the Rangers put Barclay Goodrow on waivers.
And who is Barclay Goodrow?
I believe he's a centerman. A centerman.
I'm not even familiar with the name, so maybe that's why they let him go. He's probably on the fourth line.
He was probably an integral part of their playoff loss. I would guess. I don't know.
Even use the word integral. Nice.
Right.
Yeah, we should have, in the beginning of the show, before we go on, I think it'd be fun. We should have a word, and it's got to be one of those words like behoove or something. So it'll become very obvious for the show. Like, hey, Skunky, seriously, it would behoove you. About the fourth time I say that, somebody would be like, I haven't heard that word in a long time, and he said it 4 times. So we'll come up with a word like you just said, integral. When I think about their defense, it's integral because everybody plays their parts, and we could say it like 4 or 5 times.
I'm gonna see what that means when we're done here.
That's why it's a Stoner Sports Report with Scott and Skunky.
Right.
Existential. I mean, we got stuff.
Scott, did you happen to catch the wrestling show last night? Wrestling Talk?
No, I missed Wrestling Talk. What did I miss?
Dude, you missed the whole coverage of the Clash at the Castle. But even more important from that, I believe, is going to become a wrestling talk show, much like this. So,
a wrestling talk show.
Yeah, like we're doing. I
like. All right.
Right.
I can see that. They realize though.
Yeah.
They realize though that we know what we're doing though, right? So I mean, if they want to,
but I can talk about any sport.
If they want to try to be at our level, because we're professionals that get high and talk sports. So that does
make it professional.
Heck yeah.
Great.
Yeah, we're professional. Sets us apart.
They couldn't afford my contract at that rate.
Oh yeah. Speaking of your contract, are you up for negotiations or something like that?
No, I'm not. I'm not. I think the free agency for the NFL starts on June 30th, so that'll be interesting.
Oh yeah, I always like that too, because then that's where teams take risk, and then a lot of guys don't. Sometimes guys don't even get. It's funny. How many times like a guy doesn't get picked up and ends up re-signing with his team. So that's got to be an awkward conversation where you're like, okay, before June, you're like, I'm out, man. I'm going to get more money. And then 2 weeks later, you're like, hey, remember what you offered me before? No, we're not going to. No, it's got to go lower than that. Okay, I'll still take it. My bad. And they're back on the same team. You do see that. You do see that. In fact, the talk right now is he's a stud. But so I'm thinking the Broncos are kind of hoping. Do you know who Justin Simmons is?
No.
Okay, they put him on free agency, and he's a stud. He's one of their. He's a free strong safety, and he's good. I mean, really good. But he also wants money. So the Broncos are hoping that he wants too much money, because what would happen is then if nobody picks him up, the Broncos would probably have a very good chance to pick him up again. So that does happen more often than. The Raiders were even hoping that Josh Jacobs. They kind of had a thought that nobody was going to pay him, but then Green Bay did.
Right.
Yeah. So you're also kind of taking a chance and saying, from the general managers we've talked to and stuff, I really don't think anybody's going to pay him that money. And then the team steps up and does. You're like, okay, well, still, I know teams. You see these huge contracts, but I'm telling you, they still do have. They literally say we cannot go higher than this. It's like, so you obviously want to get a player at the lowest the lowest possibility you can get. But I can't at all, because I would do the same thing. I can't blame players when they're like, hey, wait a minute, I'm as good as he is. For example, Christian McCaffrey. Do I think Christian McCaffrey should be the highest paid running back in the NFL? Yeah. Yeah, I really do. I think Christian McCaffrey. I mean, I think he is. Yeah,
That's
he's
an easy
definitely
one.
that.
Yeah,
And we don't really have a guy like we. Derrick Henry's not what he used to be.
he's old.
Josh Jacobs, my guy's not terrible. There really isn't huge competition when it comes to me. No doubt, Christian McCaffrey is the best running back. So, but if you're in that, then you see what he's done. You have those numbers. Now, this is all hypothetical. Let's say he rushed for 1,200 yards last year and got 7 touchdowns. Okay, you're a running back who rushed for 1,100. It's out over 1,000. You're going to want money, not his, but you're going to want a certain amount of money. When you're Brandon Ayuk of the 49ers and your numbers are even better than some of the guys that are making, yikes, that's when you're like, oh, and even the 49ers knew it. They said he's going to want more money because there's guys he's better than. There's guys that he's better than that are making more money, and he's going to. And sure enough, you know what he said? He goes, I need to get paid. So,
and that all depends on what their salary cap is. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's kind of like, how about very close home I know we're about out, but before we go close to home, the Bengals, Jamar Chase is better than T. Higgins. And the Bengals just signed T. Higgins. I don't know what the contract was, but everybody and their mother said, well, now we all know Jamar Chase is going to want more than that. Yep. And Chase's is coming up, I think, next year. And because they want to keep both of them. So they re-signed Higgins, and they obviously want to keep. That's why they do that franchise thing. And then even the franchise thing gets complicated because you put a guy on a franchise tag, a team wants him, and let's say he wanted $20 million a year, and that team offers him $25 million a year. You can still keep him, but you have to match that.
Match that, yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So teams know even when they franchise a guy, they're like, I'm telling you, he's good enough that we're either going to have to fork out more money or lose him because somebody's going to give a bigger offer, and we have to match it or lose the player. So
he must have been happy with what it was. I never saw what it was either, but he must not have got any better offers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's why Justin Simmons hasn't been picked up yet and stuff. And it's like, so they try to do their homework as much as they can. But You know what else? Because you don't have to be honest with them. They'll talk to owners, and they're not necessarily, they're going, I don't know if we'd be interested in that guy. A week later, they sign him. So they're not necessarily going to tell you the truth anyway. So you got to do a lot of that on your own going, okay, is he going to be able, are we going to be able to keep him? There's a player you just don't want to lose. So you franchise him. You put him on the and you're like, okay, but I'm telling you, he's good enough that another team's going to either match what or they're going to go higher and we have to match it. The only good news is,
right,
if you're willing to spend the money, you will keep that player because the rule is all you have to do is match that offer, and he has to sign with you.
Right.
That's how that's supposed to. Yeah, that's how that's supposed to work. So you don't lose the guy, but you do have to fork out more money to keep the guy. Got told another smoking show. In fact, this was a smoking suplex show from Matt.
Yeah.
Thank you, Matt. That's our number one fan right there.
The Smoking Suplex Show.
Now, I know you guys are jello because I get to go do laundry.
No.
Oh, come on. You want to come along?
No. You know who's in trouble are the Cowboys.
What's going on?
Well, they've got to sign Dak Prescott, and they've also got to sign Michael Parsons and the receiver.
Trayvon, I think even the other guy, Diggs, right? Trayvon Diggs, Stephon's brother.
I don't know. But the receiver, CD Lamb.
Then they are in trouble. That's going to be that's four guys that are going to want money.
And I'm sure Dak will want a quarterback salary.
Oh, he's going to want his numbers last year, besides the playoff game, were really good. All right, hey, buddy, it looks like our time is wrapping up. Like I said, I do think Florida will win tonight, but 7 o'clock
hope.
Eastern time, we'll be back and we'll talk about the winner and we'll go from there. And I think it was another great show. I
Sure.
appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We try to do our best, don't we?
Yep.
All right. Well, hey, once again, guys, that concludes Stoner Sports Report with Scott and Skunky. Have a great night, everybody.
Peace.
Watch the hockey game, and we'll talk tomorrow. All right.
Right on, dude.
This production is brought to you by DHBN WTHC Radio.